As the day drew to a close, the sun dipped below the horizon, enveloping our neighborhood in a warm, golden glow, while the sky transformed into a canvas of vibrant oranges and soft pinks. In the heart of the kitchen, I found myself immersed in the simple act of chopping vegetables. For dinner, the steady rhythm of the knife meeting the cutting board wrapped me in a sense of warmth and familiarity. Gizmo sat patiently at my feet, his tail rhythmically thumping against the floor, eager for a morsel to drop. It was merely another evening, or at least that's how it appeared. I looked out the window, observing Joseph coming back from his hike, his figure outlined by the dimming light. He appeared at ease, his familiar post-hike radiance visible even from afar. As he drew nearer, I sensed a change in his gait, a subtle pause, a flicker of something dark crossing his features that had escaped my attention until now. "Greetings, my dear," I shouted as he walked in, attempting to dispel the discomfort that was slowly settling in my chest. What tales did the hike unfold? Joseph hesitated, his fingers brushing against the doorframe as he contemplated what lay beyond. "It was intriguing," he remarked, his tone holding a depth that contrasted with his typical playful narration of his escapades. He offered no further details, merely brushed by me to cleanse his hands, his actions robotic. The evening meal unfolded in a serene atmosphere. The familiar buzz of conversation faded, giving way to the gentle clinking of cutlery and the quiet hum of the refrigerator. I attempted to draw him in, inquiring about his day, yet his replies were brief, and his gaze seemed far away. As we lingered on the porch, the cool night air brushing against us, I could no longer overlook the change that had taken place. "Joseph, what seems to be the matter?" I inquired softly, my voice just above a murmur, careful not to disturb the delicate tranquility of our night. He let out a heavy breath, filled with unease. "Paige, I took a step today." He began his words deliberate, as if each one was a weight he had to bear. "On the trail, I stumbled upon an object, one that was best left untouched." My heart raced with excitement. Joseph preferred clarity and openness, shunning the shadows of mystery and ambiguity. "What happened there?" I inquired further, my intrigue now laced with unease. "It was a box," he said, his eyes locked onto the horizon as the final rays of daylight slipped away. "Once upon a time there lay an old ornate box concealed beneath a pile of rocks, waiting for the right moment to reveal its secrets. I believed it was merely a fragment of the past, perhaps an intriguing addition to our collection, but when I opened it," he paused, and in that stillness, my imagination spun tales, each one more unsettling than the last. "As you opened it, I urged my voice unwavering, even as the unease began to swell within me. Inside Paige, there lay a letter that leaves much to be desired. Though it's intended for another, it includes our names and our address. It feels as though we are being observed from the shadows." The realization washed over me like a chilling tide. Our idyllic existence, our haven, seemed to be laid bare in an instant. What does it convey? I inquired, my voice a blend of trepidation and resolve. It's a tale of intricacies. It reveals a burden, a chapter from my history, something I believed was long forgotten, yet it appears to be gaining ground. Joseph's voice trembled, his typical composure unraveling. I extended my hand towards him, sensing the tightness in his hold. We'll navigate this journey side by side. I promised him everything was fine, even as a tempest of doubts swirled within me. What if a seemingly ordinary hike had the power to change everything we thought we knew? What was this burden, and who lurked behind this foreboding message? As the night deepened, the stars emerged, watching silently over the chaos. Unfolding beneath them, I came to understand that our existence, as perfect as it seemed, was on the brink of facing challenges we could never have foreseen what lay within the box. And the letter was merely the start of an unfolding tale. As I sat there grasping Joseph's hand, a sense of certainty washed over me. No matter what lay ahead, we would confront it side by side. Yet the inquiry hung there, dense and palpable. What could possibly shatter this serene existence? And perhaps most crucially, what lengths would we need to traverse to safeguard it? On that ordinary Thursday evening, the air was filled with the promise of untold tales waiting to unfold. Joseph found himself burning the midnight oil once again, engrossed in a project that seemed to take over his every waking moment. Gizmo and I found ourselves alone at home, and I took it upon myself to dive into the chaos of our guest room. Closet. Amidst the chaos lay a tapestry of old clothes, holiday decorations, and forgotten treasures, each with a tale waiting to be uncovered. Amidst the disarray, Gizmo, my ever-curious companion, trailed behind me into the closet. The closet was tight, and as I stretched for a box perched on the top shelf, I felt myself teetering. In a moment of chaos, Gizmo, ever eager to assist, found himself ensnared in my legs. Amidst the chaos, I stumbled, and he tumbled down alongside me. In that cramped space, we found ourselves close, and suddenly an unforeseen event unfolded. As I reached for the box, it tumbled down alongside us, and upon hitting the floor, it burst open, revealing its secrets. Out poured not merely the typical mess, but something that truly captivated my attention. A quaint leather-bound journal. Once upon a time, there was an old book, its leather cover worn and its pages yellowed, each one whispering tales of the past. Gizmo, liberated from the knot, approached it with a sense of wonder, sniffing at it inquisitively. I lifted the journal gently, sweeping away the dust that had settled on its cover. The cover bore an unfamiliar symbol, detailed and seemingly menacing. My heart quickened with anticipation as I pried it open, the spine groaning in resistance. As I flipped to the next page, a name emerged from the emptiness of the first, the name of Joseph. My breath hitched in my throat. What could be the reason for Joseph's name appearing in this journal? I turned the pages, each one adorned with careful writing, chronicling moments in time, places visited, and happening that unfolded. It felt as if I had stumbled upon a treasure trove of personal tales, yet this was no typical collection of thoughts. It was a record, a ledger of sorts weaving together, not just Joseph, but our address, our lives in a manner that felt too intimate, too invasive, The entries were shrouded in mystery, weaving tales of debts, promises, and an enigmatic entity known as the pact. My thoughts drifted to the letter Joseph had discovered, the one that revealed a lingering obligation from his history. Is there a link to this journal? I pressed on with the pages, my hands quaking with anticipation. There were references to unfamiliar names, individuals I had yet to encounter, yet every mention appeared to circle back to a common thread: vengeance. With each page I turned, an unsettling sensation began to rise within me. This was more than simply Joseph's tale. It revolved around our well-being, our prospects, our journey ahead. Gizmo, feeling my tension press close to me, his warmth a gentle solace amidst the chilling awareness that our lives were more exposed than we had imagined. I shut the journal, my thoughts swirling with curiosity. Can you share the author of this piece? What brought it here, concealed within the walls of our own sanctuary? So what exactly was the pact? I realized it was time to face Joseph about this matter. As I rose to my feet, the journal gripped firmly in my grasp. The sound of the front door creaking open reached my ears. Joseph arrived home sooner than anyone had anticipated. My heart raced as I weighed the choice between stashing the journal away or facing him head on right then and there. I opted for the second option. Emerging from the closet, I encountered him in the hallway, the journal firmly held in my hand. His eyes grew large with surprise, a blend of astonishment and an unnameable emotion. Could it be fear? Paige, can you share the tale of how you discovered that? His voice carried a hush, the serenity he often exuded, now fractured within the confines of the closet. Joseph, once it lay concealed within a box. Can you explain what this is? I extended it toward him, my voice unwavering even as chaos swirled within me. With a gentle touch, he picked up the journal, his fingers gliding over the intricate design embossed on its cover. I had no idea it was here. This is a glimpse into what I wanted to share with you. A fragment of my history that I believed was long forgotten. The gravity of his words lingered, casting a profound atmosphere around us. Share all your tales with me, Joseph. All will be revealed. With a nod, he guided me into the living room. We sat, the journal between us, a silent witness to our untold narratives. He started to speak, his voice barely above a whisper, about a journal that belonged to a figure from his past, a person he believed he would never encounter again. It's a tale of a pact, a vow forged in our younger days, one that was meant to fade into the shadows of memory. As he shared his thoughts, the fragments started to align, yet with every insight, the enigma deepened, becoming increasingly foreboding. The letter and the journal were pieces of a larger narrative we were just starting to uncover. As the night grew darker, it dawned on me that our seemingly perfect life was on the brink of facing challenges we had never foreseen. What lay within the box, the letter, the journal, was merely the start of an unfolding tale. As I sat there, grasping Joseph's hand, a deep sense of certainty washed over me. No matter what lay ahead, we would navigate it side by side. Yet the inquiry hung there, weighty and palpable. What could ever come along to shatter this perfect existence? And what lengths would we need to traverse to safeguard it? As I stumbled to regain my footing, an unexpected twist unfolded in the midst of the chaos. Gizmo, caught in a whirlwind of emotions, or perhaps sensing my unease, started to act in a manner that was entirely unexpected. His typical light-hearted nature shifted into a deeper, more compelling presence. His gaze met mine, not with the familiar warmth, but with a disquieting intensity. In my bewilderment and surprise, I hesitated to push him away right away. In that fleeting moment, I found myself faltering, allowing a misstep in my decision-making to take hold, and I didn't respond in the way I ought to have. The understanding of what had just unfolded struck me with overwhelming force. It filled me with dread, not only because of the event that unfolded, but also due to my own failure to respond. I swiftly freed myself from Gizmo, who appeared completely unaware of the seriousness of the moment. He sat there, his tail wagging gently, as if he were part of a tale where nothing unusual had taken place. In the soft shadows of the closet, I found myself wrestling with the events that had just unfolded. What chain of events could transform a mere stumble into an unimaginable decision? My thoughts drifted to the journal filled with enigmatic entries and the foreboding symbol that adorned its cover. The fragments were beginning to align yet, in a manner that twisted my insides. Could this be a chapter in the tale Joseph had recounted? Could it be that Gizmo played a part in this? It was a notion that seemed ridiculous, yet somehow we found ourselves in a scenario that challenged all reason. I rose to my feet, shaking off the remnants of the past from my attire, my hands quivering with the weight of the moment. I was in search of answers, and I craved them urgently. With the journal clutched tightly, I emerged from the closet, my heart racing with anticipation. Joseph stood in the living room, his back turned to me, gazing into the shadows. Beyond the window, once upon a time there was a character named Joseph. First raised my voice, trembling, yet resolute. He turned his face ghostly beneath the soft glow of the lamp. "What's on your mind, Paige?" His voice carried a blend of worry and trepidation. I raised the journal high. Gizmo and I had just experienced a little adventure in the closet. There's an unsettling feeling, Joseph. What tale does this pact hold? How is this relevant to us? He let out a heavy sigh, a sound filled with unspoken thoughts that lingered in the stillness of the room. It's a bit of a tangled web, Paige. The pact was a relic of my younger days, a vow forged into a time I believed had faded into memory. Yet it appears they have finally reached us, closing in on our tale. He grasped the journal, his fingers gliding over the embossed symbol, as if it held a tale of its own. This was once in the possession of a person I was familiar with, a person who had layers beyond their surface appearance. The agreement revolved around fidelity obligations and hidden truth. And now it seems those hidden tales are beginning to unfold. I settled into my seat, feeling the heaviness of his words enveloping me. And what about Gizmo? What role does he play in this narrative? Joseph cast his gaze upon Gizmo, who had trailed in behind me now, resting peacefully beside me. I'm not sure, Paige. Perhaps it's merely a matter of chance, or perhaps there's a deeper narrative unfolding here that we have yet to grasp. Creatures have an uncanny ability to perceive the world around them, don't they? Perhaps he felt a whisper from the past, a hint of something lingering in the atmosphere. The atmosphere grew chillier, and the shadows seemed to stretch and deepen. "So where do we go from here?" I inquired, my voice scarcely rising above a murmur. "We must uncover the mystery of who is responsible for this, who authored that letter, and who placed this journal here. It's essential for us to grasp the entire narrative of what we're facing, and we must embark on this journey side by side." I nodded, a sense of determination swelling inside me. In unison, I responded, "Before we dive into the adventures ahead, let's ensure our sanctuary is protected and that we feel secure. We must take action instead of passively awaiting what may come our way." Joseph nodded in agreement, and for the next hour, we immersed ourselves in the task of checking locks, crafting makeshift alarms, and meticulously securing every window, gizmo. Perhaps sensing the tension remained nearby, his presence, strangely reassuring despite the earlier incident. As we toiled, my thoughts continually drifted back to the journal. The letter, the agreement we had made. What was the promise made by Joseph? What was this burden that appeared to shadow him? And who was there capturing every moment of our lives with such precision? The night unfolded with every creak of the house and every flicker of shadow in the soft glow, causing my heart to race. With Joseph at my side and Gizmo's vigilant gaze upon us, a flicker of reassurance washed over me. We found ourselves intertwined, connected by something deeper than love itself, a mystery looming over us that could unravel the fabric of our lives. We settled in once more, the journal resting between us, heavy with untold narratives. As Joseph opened the journal to the first page, he began to weave a narrative that would draw us in. It's essential to grasp all the nuances, each character, and every place referenced. There could be hints, elements that guide us to uncover the mastermind behind this. As we delved into the entries, they unfolded a vivid tapestry of a bygone era, filled with whispered vows in the darkness and hidden truths meant to remain concealed. Yet, as we explored further, it became increasingly clear that our seemingly perfect existence was merely a mask, a serene moment before the chaos that had now descended upon us. The question hung there, thick with anticipation. What could ever shatter this perfect existence? And what lengths would we need to traverse to safeguard it? The days that came after were a whirlwind of events. Every time I glanced at Gizmo, a surge of guilt and shame washed over me. Joseph, oblivious to the chaos, swirling within me, carried on with his daily life, seemingly untouched by the tempest that raged inside. I attempted to maintain a facade of normalcy, yet each encounter seemed like a carefully crafted act. I began to steer clear of Gizmo, a challenging task given the confines of our cozy home. Joseph observed the shift in my demeanor, but he believed it was simply due to the pressures of my job. I found it impossible to share the reality with him. What would be the way for me to do that? As the days went by, the burden of my hidden truth became increasingly overwhelming, drawing me closer to a moment of revelation. It was during the nights that the challenges felt most intense. As I lay in bed, the stillness enveloped me, resonating with the whispers of my own reflections. As I gazed at Joseph, lost in the serenity of his slumber, I couldn't help but ponder the mystery of his tranquility amidst the chaos surrounding us. The journal, now tucked away beneath our mattress, seemed to pulse with untold secrets. Each time the thought crossed my mind, a knot of dread and doubt tightened within me. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across our living room, I found myself in the company of Gizmo. Joseph ventured out, seeking the company of someone who might unravel the enigma of the mysterious letter and the journal. The house exuded an unsettling aura, as if the very walls were whispering tales of hidden truths drawing closer. With every breath, Gizmo perched by the window, his gaze locked onto the deepening twilight. I walked towards him, a weight in my chest. "Forgive me, dear one," I murmured, my voice trembling. He turned his gaze, locking onto mine, with a fervor that felt as if it could cut through the weight of my remorse. It felt like he had an instinct, a deep awareness of the rift that had formed between us. I settled next to him, feeling the day's burdens heavy upon my shoulders. "We share this journey, don't we?" I spoke more to my own thoughts than to him. Gizmo's tail thumped, once a small gesture that seemed to weave a narrative of forgiveness, or perhaps just a dog's uncomplicated embrace of the present. The creak of the front door, swinging open, pulled me back from my reverie. Joseph returned, his expression weary, his gaze heavy with fatigue. "What happened?" I inquired, making an effort to maintain a calm tone. It was a revelation, he remarked, his voice laden with untold meanings. He settled beside me, his presence a gentle solace amidst the chaos swirling around us. The man I encountered, he was involved. Page. Part of the agreement. He unveiled the truth, the debts, the promises. They all hold weight. A shiver coursed through me, sending a chill down my spine. "What about our journey? Are we facing a threat?" Joseph inhaled deeply, his fingers intertwining with mine. He mentioned that we aren't the main focus yet. We find ourselves woven into a much grander narrative. There are others in the mix, others who may not extend the same grace as he does. The space felt as if it were closing in with shadows, stretching and deepening all around us. What shall we embark on next? My voice was a soft murmur, trepidation woven into each syllable. We must uncover the others involved and identify who may pursue us next. It's essential for us to safeguard our well-being, and he took a moment, his eyes drifting down to Gizmo. We must explore whether Gizmo's actions are merely happenstance or if there is a deeper narrative at play. I nodded, the weight of our circumstances enveloping me. Let's dive back into the journal, exploring its pages for hidden clues, names or places that may have slipped past us. Before Joseph nodded in agreement and we made our way to the bedroom, carefully unearthing the journal from its secret spot. The leather was cool against my fingertips as we turned to the first page. The entries held an air of mystery, brimming with dates, locations, and names, some familiar, others utterly unknown. In the stillness of the room, the only sounds were the gentle rustle of pages turning and the soft breaths of Gizmo, who had joined us, resting contentedly at our feet. Every entry felt like it was drawing us deeper into a gripping tale of tension, whispers of gatherings, dialogues, and an ever-present thread of vengeance wove through the narrative. Take a moment to observe this. Joseph gestured towards a note from years ago. This name, right here, belongs to someone I once crossed paths with during my college days. He found himself mingling with a rather questionable group. I peered at the words he was reading, captivated by the unfolding narrative. The passage described a gathering at a weathered warehouse, a location I recognized as being on the fringes of town. Do you believe he's still around? It's a beginning. Joseph declared, his tone steady with determination. Let's embark on a journey to explore and uncover what we might discover along the way. A choice has been reached. We ventured into the warehouse, unaware of the treasures or secrets that awaited us, compelled by an insatiable curiosity to grasp the true nature of the agreement that had entangled us. As we got ready, the night outside deepened, the stars concealed by clouds reflecting the unease within us. Gizmo observed us intently, his gaze tracking our every action. His gaze held a profound depth, as if it grasped truths beyond our comprehension. I leaned down, stroking him softly, sensing a bond that was both soothing and disquieting. We'll find a way through this, my boy, I whispered, seeking comfort for myself more than for him. The narrative was crafted. Tomorrow we would embark on a journey into the mysterious, in search of truth that could change everything we thought we knew. In that moment, we found ourselves side by side, the journal laid open before us, the echoes of history, and the unknown ahead creating a palpable tension as we prepared for the journey that lay ahead. One evening, following a day filled with tension, Joseph approached me with a serious demeanor. He discovered me in the kitchen, tears streaming down my face, unable to contain my emotions any longer. He sought to uncover the truth, his voice tinged with a mix of worry and bewilderment. The words flowed from me like a river, eager to be shared. I shared every detail with him, from the tumble in the closet to the unimaginable event that ensued. Joseph's expression transformed from worry to astonishment, then settled into a blend of incredulity and disgust. He rose from his seat, the chair protesting as it slid across the floor, and exited the room in silence. The stillness that ensued was overwhelming. Could this discovery mark the conclusion of our union? The chill in the air wrapped around the house, while the shadows stretched and danced, weaving tales of the past. I sat there, the burden of my revelation enveloping me as if it were a tangible presence. The sound of Joseph's footsteps reverberated through the hallway, each step weaving a tale of the widening gap between us. I stood there, my heart racing, longing for his return, hoping for a word, any word at all. Time seemed to elongate, each minute unfolding like a chapter in a tale. At last, Joseph returned, his expression a mystery. He settled into his seat opposite me, his gaze avoiding mine. Page. He started, his voice heavy with emotion. I seek to grasp the essence. What led to this unfolding? I inhaled deeply, seeking to calm my voice. I'm not quite sure, Joseph. It was a twist of fate, a fleeting lapse in clarity. Gizmo was simply present, and I found myself caught off guard. In a moment of sheer intensity, everything changed, and then it unfolded before me. Joseph's gaze finally found me, his eyes probing with curiosity. And you didn't share that with me. What's the reason behind that? A wave of embarrassment enveloped me. Fear gripped me, Joseph, afraid of your perception, fearful of the implications. I believed I could face it by myself, yet it has been gnawing at me from within. He let out a heavy breath, a mix of exasperation and sadness, lingering in the air. Paige, we're meant to reveal it all. Whispers like this, they hold the power to unravel us. I understand, I murmured as the tears began to rise once more. I deeply apologize. I was unsure how to share this with you without causing a rift between us. Joseph extended his hand across the table, pausing for a moment before finally grasping mine. Our journey has been filled with challenges and experiences, from the pact to the journal, and now we find ourselves at this new chapter. We must confront this as one, or it will drive a wedge between us. I nodded, gripping his hand tightly. What shall we embark on next? We must grasp it all, he declared, his voice gaining strength with determination. The agreement. The diary and Gizmo's antics. There's a deeper narrative unfolding than we often perceive. Our journey begins as we return to the warehouse, eager to uncover more secrets hidden within its walls. The plan was in place, yet the atmosphere around us lingered with things left unsaid. We ventured into the bedroom, pulling the journal from its hiding place beneath the mattress. The leather was cool against my fingertips as we turned to the opening page. The entries were enigmatic, brimming with dates, places, and names, some familiar to us, while others were utterly unknown. In the stillness of the room, the only sounds were the gentle rustle of pages being turned and the soft, rhythmic breathing of Gizmo, who had joined us resting comfortably at our feet. Every entry felt like a tightening grip, drawing us closer to an inevitable fate. Whispers of gatherings, exchanges, and a persistent thread of vengeance wove through the narrative. Check this out. Joseph gestured toward a passage from years ago. This name right here belongs to a person I crossed paths with during my college days. He found himself in the company of some rather questionable characters. I peered at the words he was reading, drawn into the narrative unfolding before me. The entry described a gathering at a weathered warehouse, a location I recognized as being on the fringes of town. Do you believe he remains in that place? It's a beginning. Joseph declared, his voice steady with determination. We should embark on a journey to explore, to uncover any hidden treasures or intriguing characters. Along the way, a choice was reached. We ventured into the warehouse, unaware of the discoveries that awaited us, compelled by a desire to grasp the true nature of the agreement that had now entangled us. As we got ready, the night outside deepened. the stars obscured by clouds reflecting the doubts that lingered within us. Gizmo observed us intently, his gaze tracking our every action. In his gaze, there was a profound depth, as if he grasped truths beyond our comprehension. I leaned down, stroking him softly, sensing a bond that was both reassuring and disquieting. "We'll find a way through this, my boy," I whispered, seeking comfort for myself as much as for him. The narrative was established. Tomorrow we would embark on a journey into the unknown, in search of answers to the questions that loomed over us, threatening to unravel the very fabric of our existence. In that moment, we found ourselves side by side, the journal laid open before us, the echoes of history and the unknown ahead, looming large as we prepared for the journey that lay ahead. The night unfolded with every creak of the house, and each flicker of shadow in the soft glow, causing my heart to race. Yet with Joseph beside me and Gizmo's vigilant gaze upon us, a sense of comfort began to settle in. We found ourselves intertwined, connected by something deeper than love, a mystery looming that could unravel the fabric of our lives. As we lingered in that moment, the quietness surrounding us transformed from mere unspoken truths into a prelude to the adventure that awaited us. The agreement, the diary, the event with Gizmo, it all wove together into a bigger narrative, one we had to unravel to restore our tranquility. As the night grew darker, the stars emerged, seemingly unconcerned with the chaos unfolding beneath them. I came to understand that our existence, as perfect as it seemed, was on the brink of facing challenges we could never have foreseen. What lay within the box, the letter, the journal, was merely the start of an unfolding tale. As I sat there, grasping Joseph's hand, a deep sense of certainty washed over me. No matter what lay ahead, we would navigate it side by side. Yet the question hung there, thick and palpable. What could ever disturb this perfect existence? And perhaps most crucially, what lengths would we need to traverse to safeguard it? In the days that followed, Joseph and I exchanged few words. He settled into the guest room, and I sensed the widening gap between us, transforming what was once a connection into an expansive divide. Therapy was suggested, yet the trust lay in ruins, resembling a mirror fragmented beyond repair. Gizmo, feeling the weight of the moment, retreated into himself. His typical vibrancy diminished by the mood at home. His tail no longer danced with the same joy. I reached out to a therapist, hoping to unravel the reasons behind my choices and the missteps I had taken. The sessions unfolded like a gripping narrative, revealing deep layers of guilt, shame, and confusion. Every session was like embarking on a journey through the depths of the earth, searching for the core of my error, only to uncover more layers of soil along the way. After weeks of silence, Joseph finally decided to embark on the journey of therapy with me. It marked a journey toward recovery. Yet the path ahead was winding and unpredictable, akin to wandering through a thick mist where the way forward remained hidden. Our journey took an unexpected turn. Can we rise from the ashes of this experience? In the unfolding of events, the answers would reveal themselves in due course. Yet a single truth emerged in the tapestry of our lives. The serene moments we cherished have faded, giving way to a journey filled with lessons, healing, and the possibility of finding peace. Is there a chance for us to reconnect and rediscover what we once had? Or was this the dawn of a new chapter? The initial therapy session we shared was filled with tension. We found ourselves on opposite ends of the couch, the distance between us thick with unvoiced thoughts and a weighty quietude. Dr. Ellis, our therapist, possessed a soft-spoken nature, yet her inquiries pierced the stillness with precision. Joseph, can you share your thoughts on the events that unfolded? She inquired, her tone steady, yet inquisitive. He gazed at his hands, his voice barely above a whisper. Deceived, perplexed. It seems as though a piece of our shared journey has slipped away. My heart tightened, his words striking me with the force of a blow. I regret to hear that, Joseph, it was never my intention for things to unfold this way. The weight of it all was too much for me, and I struggled to cope. Dr. Ellis nodded, her gaze shifting back and forth between us. Paige, recognizing your emotions is essential as well. What tales are unfolding in your heart at this moment? Regret. Primarily, I confess, my voice scarcely rising above a murmur. And there's a sense of dread, a haunting thought that we may not find our way back from this. The sessions unfolded, each one a quest to rediscover the threads that once wove us together. We shared tales of the pact, the journal, the letter, and how these elements had woven themselves into the fabric of our lives like an insidious virus. Joseph recounted tales from his past, the vows of his youth, that now lingered in our current reality. One evening, following a particularly intense session, we found ourselves in the living room, the journal laid open on the coffee table. The entries unfolded like a journey through a shadowy woodland, each one offering a glimpse into a grander narrative we were just starting to grasp. Check this out, Joseph remarked, gesturing toward an entry. This name right here belongs to someone I once crossed paths with during my college days. He found himself mingling with a rather questionable group. I bent closer, absorbing the words on the page. It spoke of a gathering at a weathered warehouse, a location I recognized as being on the fringes of town. Do you believe he remains in that place? It's a beginning, Joseph declared, his voice steady with determination. We should go and explore, perhaps uncover some intriguing tales, or meet interesting characters along the way. A choice was reached. We ventured into the warehouse, unaware of the treasures or secrets that awaited us. Compelled by an insatiable curiosity to grasp the true nature of the agreement that had now entangled us. As we got ready, the night outside deepened, the stars obscured by clouds, reflecting the doubt that lingered within us. Gizmo observed us intently, his gaze tracking our every action. His gaze held a profound depth, as if it grasped truths beyond our comprehension. I leaned down, stroking him softly, sensing a bond that was both soothing and disquieting. We'll find a way through this, I whispered to him, seeking comfort for myself more than for him. The narrative was crafted. Tomorrow, we would embark on a journey into the unknown in search of answers to questions that loomed over us, ready to reshape our lives. But for now, we sat together, the journal open between us. The echoes of history and the unknown ahead enveloping us as we prepared for what lay in store. The night unfolded with every creak of the house and each flicker of shadow in the soft glow sending shivers down my spine, ending with Joseph beside me and Gizmo's vigilant gaze upon us. A flicker of reassurance washed over me. We found ourselves intertwined, connected by something deeper than love alone, a mystery looming that could unravel the fabric of our lives. As we sat there, the quiet between us transformed into a tapestry, woven with the unspoken tales of our past and the adventures that lay ahead. The agreement, the diary, the event with Gizmo, it all wove together into a grand narrative, one we had to unravel to restore our tranquility. As the night unfolded, the stars emerged, seemingly unconcerned with the chaos that unfolded beneath them. I came to understand that our existence, as perfect as it seemed, was on the brink of facing challenges we could never have foreseen. It was merely the start. The box, the letter, the journal, all holding secrets, waiting to be unveiled. As I sat there, grasping Joseph's hand, a sense of certainty washed over me. No matter what lay ahead, we would confront it side by side. Yet the inquiry hung there, weighty and palpable. What could ever shatter this perfect existence? And what lengths would we need to traverse to safeguard it? If you found this tale captivating, be sure to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. This will assist us in crafting more captivating narratives for you.